So here's a list of things that I've hidden from this YouTube channel. The idea came about because I think one of the videos I was editing from like a few weeks back, in that video where I was talking about obvious things, I mentioned how I mentioned how there's medicated oil, and then I said like I realized the reason why that was not an obvious thing was because I was at a friend's house in Australia and they didn't have it. And when I was editing that video, I realized that me saying friend was me kind of accidentally or subconsciously, out of habit, accidentally hiding something from you. So actually, when I said friend, it's not entirely untrue. But what it is that it was also my ex-girlfriend, who was not my ex-girlfriend at that point in time. But I think it was the fact that when I was editing, I was thinking I'm so used to just kind of censoring things out when I talk about it in real life, because different groups of people know me through different things, and if they've heard about this story before, then they can put two and two together to figure out that if I said my ex, even without gendering that person, they can probably figure out that it's a girl. So that got me thinking about what other stuff I've accidentally hidden. And so today I want to share with you a bunch of stuff that I know I've accidentally hidden, in no particular order. I was originally going to try and make this like a tier list kind of thing, but then I realized like I tried making categories, but they are not very helpful. They don't really have the same kind of oomph as like S, A, B, C, D, E, F, or like a good bad kind of situation. You can see I tried to do that here. Not very helpful. It's not a linear scale, so I'm just gonna tell you what are the things that I've hidden. And we'll talk a bit more about hiding stuff. So, in no particular order, in no particular order, since I already mentioned it. One is saying my friend instead of my ex, as I mentioned. Another one is I don't show you guys what my hair looks like on a second day without washing. So in all the videos, it's always been like my hair was washed the day before filming. And especially as my hair's gotten longer, I've gotten a bit lazier with washing it because it gets very dry if I wash it every day. So you've not seen second day greasy hair. And that's been intentional so far. The next on this list is also hair, messy hair. So today I decided to do my hair. Well, it's not that I decided to do my hair this way, but it's more like just kind of ended up this way after I've been out and about, and this is kind of what is left. I'll show you. There. So it's still combed. I still, try to make it neat. It's just that it's a bit messy now because it's, at the end of the day, it's still not exactly how I would have my hair if I am just at home. At home, it'll be even messier than this, but do I really need to show you guys my hair being messy? The third is no BB cream and no sunblock. So today, I don't have BB cream, but I do have sunblock on. And that's just another one of those image things that like, I don't know, I just don't really want to show you guys what it looks like because my skin is kind of not great. But like, technically I have made videos in which I've not been wearing BB, but I think in most of them I am wearing sunblock, which does have a slight tint, so it kind of evens out the skin tone a bit. But if you want to know the videos where I have no BB cream on, the I'm an artist video and the one that's after that about clothes, the second creative log update, I think that's it, and this video and the video before this. After that, hair picking and skin picking. I think I briefly, like I've said this in passing before, that I pick my hair. Not really pick my hair, but I pick the scalp, and I also pick my skin. And it's, I don't know, stimming. It's something that I've tried to quit. It's never really worked, and I generally try not to show it, but it's not specific to you guys. It's just in general when I'm outside the house, I try not to show it. But if you watch videos carefully, I do it sometimes. The one that I do remember is I was picking at something from my hair in the video where I was talking about the playlist for people who are disillusioned with work. So 6th thing on the list, I don't show you guys when I have a super runny nose. You have seen me sniffing before. I think there's more than one video that has it, but I don't show you guys when I have a really, really bad runny nose, and it's very common because I have a relatively sensitive nose. When it's very bad, I can't breathe through my nose. It's very swollen, and the good version of it would be my nose is very swollen, but the mucus is hardened, so it doesn't leak out. The bad version would be the mucus is continuously flowing. So this is one of those things that I don't really try to hide, because like in real life you can't really hide it. People who have worked with me, who studied with me in school and all that stuff, have seen it, because I generally don't take absent days because of my nose. It's like I know how to deal with it, but the thing is that sometimes it gets worse throughout the day. So people have seen me with like really bad runny nose, and I do sometimes take antihistamines to stop it, but like if you don't take it in time, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know, but for videos there's no point going out to film if I have a very bad runny nose. So you have not seen it, and it's not like I'm trying to deliberately hide it. It just like, doesn't really make sense. Number 7, something else that I've generally hidden from you guys is any thoughts or beliefs or stuff that I've done that is anything vaguely spiritual. I guess it's fair to say that I have vaguely spiritual beliefs about stuff. I don't have any religion. I don't really believe in any religion. I don't particularly believe in organized religion actually. But I have mentioned in passing things like human design, which is probably like on the boundaries of like being vaguely spiritual. I just, in the video that I just made before this, I talked about watching Battle of Fates, which is, about people who have kind of a spiritual connection or a divine connection. So I don't deliberately try to hide it, but I think it's just one of those things that, like with a lot of other stuff, people don't really like to talk about. Funnily enough, just now when I was out and about, this lady stopped me to talk about Jesus, and like I usually just try to avoid it because I don't believe in Jesus. Don't come for me. People who are, who believe in him, I don't like. I think you can believe whatever you want to believe. I just don't personally believe in religion. But I do believe there's something spiritual happening, and usually I'll just avoid these people. But today, I really want to sit there and read my book, but then she didn't want to let me go. So after she talked about Jesus and stuff, I ended up trying to see what would happen if I just say my own belief about consciousness and like who we are and things like that. And maybe I'll talk about it in a different video, I don't know. But like speaking about it made me realize that actually I do have kind of firm beliefs. It's not like firm, but I have it's not like the details are super firm, but like that I have a kind of basis of like what I believe in, and I don't talk about it because I think just in general people don't like to talk about religion, and I don't really like to talk about religion because I feel like it just gets into arguments and I don't see a need for it. But also I guess it opens, well, it doesn't really open things up to being discussed, because I feel like people don't really talk about religion in that they're open to having their thoughts change. So that's kind of why I don't really like to talk about spiritual stuff. Number 8 about stuff that I've hidden is anything in which I am potentially in the wrong, whether I'm actually in the wrong or just can be perceived to be in the wrong. I just don't want to talk about it. Same thing with like religion. I just don't want to open up the can of worms. Number 9, something else that I don't really like to talk about on this channel. And I think in general, every time I've been on YouTube across the different channels that I've made and the different videos that I've appeared in, I don't like to talk about my academic achievements. I briefly mentioned that I was smart in the video about checking your privilege, but I think that's about it. I've not really said exactly what kind of results I've gotten. Because one, I don't think results are a good indication of the level of smartness you are, and also 2, I don't appreciate the stereotypes that come with people knowing I'm a certain type of smart. And I don't think that that is all that I am, and I don't want it to kind of show that way. So I've deliberately not mentioned exactly what kind of smart I am. And it's gonna sound like, it always sounds a bit pompous when I do that, but it's like, it's a stereotype, right? And I don't want to give people that stereotype of me. The last thing on this list is my crushes, likings, any kind of like heart lovey-dovey feelings. I don't talk about that much on this channel, or just in general, even with other people in real life. And like I said, I try to make a tier list of it, but it doesn't really stack linearly. I think in general, what I've discovered thinking about this list of stuff that I've kind of sometimes accidentally and sometimes somewhat intentionally, or like just out of like general conditioning, I've kind of hidden from this channel. A lot of it is kind of just the most base level is like for safety, right? Like for feeling that I am safe. So like to not show any kind of like deviation from the norm, which is quite funny because this channel is really talking about stuff that is kind of not the norm. But I mean, not saying not the norm, but not the most typical way to approach things. But like, it's like the same thing with people coming out, right? Like, you can know that you are queer, but you don't come out until you are actually physically safe. And that is something that I think a good piece of advice should be, like, you should always ensure that you are safe, because, well, you shouldn't always just ensure that you're safe, but you are under no obligation to declare stuff about yourself if you are not physically safe. You get what I mean? So I think a lot of me hiding stuff has kind of unconsciously been tied to the idea of safety and masking and hiding and stuff like that. Masking in sometimes vaguely neurodivergent ways. I think like the hair picking, skin picking thing is part of stimming, potentially part of neurodivergency, maybe not, but it's like, on one hand, yes, maybe I should show it to make it a bit more normal, but then like on the other hand, it's not a particularly fun habit to look at, and it's still something that I tend to hide even in general, in public, like not just to the camera. So I don't know, but I think there are some things within this list of things that I've accidentally / on purpose hidden from this channel, that I might want to kind of take a bit more active action to show. And I think most of them fall in the category of things where I have thought through them, and like, first of all, I'm in a situation where whatever the thing is, it's fine to show it. Like, it's not unsafe to show it. Things like greasy hair or like not wearing BB cream or whatever, like that's pretty low stakes. So that's why you see right now, that's what I've tried to do in this video as well. But also like stuff like, I don't know, saying spiritual stuff, I feel like that has slightly higher stakes. Saying stuff in which I know I'm in the wrong, or I can perceive to be in the wrong, so opinions that are not commonly popular. I think one that I can immediately think of is piracy. I don't think all piracy is bad, and I don't think it only um I don't think only in like very extenuous circumstances is piracy tolerated. Like let's say the media is like you can't find it even if you pay a lot for like a Blu-ray on eBay or whatever, you can't find it. Like I don't think it's only in those circumstances that piracy is like, bad or not allowed or whatnot. And I think that's kind of a slightly controversial opinion to have, especially as somebody who creates stuff. And I'm just gonna leave it as that. I'm not gonna try and go into like what about it. But like a lot of these things that I've hidden have really been mostly about, I guess, wanting to craft a certain image and kind of being scared of people whose opinions don't are antagonistic, I guess, to my own. And I don't know, I think I'm at a point where I'm thinking, do I really still need to hide everything? I'm not gonna like deliberately tackle all of this, I think, but like some of this doesn't make sense. Like I'm not gonna show you guys me having a super runny nose unless it's already something that has happened, then like it's just gonna show on camera, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to do it. I'm also not gonna like go out of my way to like show you super messy hair just because like when I go out of the house I do comb my hair. But if it gets messy during the day, like you will see it. And I'm not gonna pretend that it has not happened. So I guess what I'm trying to say is originally I wanted to rank this video, but as I just gone through it, I think it's just maybe a useful thing to think about, like what am I deliberately trying to hide from you guys, what am I trying to curate in terms of optics, and what does that mean about all of this. And I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll see you next time.